The Samsung's S22 benchmark results have been leaked. Hey guys, Tech Flash here. So we all know that the AMD Exynos benchmark tests were leaked just a few days back. And by the looks of it, initially a lot of people thought it was going to be beating Apple's A14 and A15 Bionic. Not too long after, things took a turn and we later on got more benchmark tests which proved that the A15 was in fact much better than that of the AMD chip performed on Manhattan 3.1. Qualcomm has also been in the works for its Snapdragon 898 processor, and we finally have some numbers for this chip as well, which would help us take a good look at how all of them stack up with each other. But before we get into that, the benchmark result tests performed on the S22 Plus have also been leaked on Geekbench, which was performed on the Exynos 2200 chip, and at a first glance the numbers were not too impressive. In fact, they were actually much lower than the ones made on the S21 with the Exynos 2100. But there is a good reason for that. The test performed, first of all, was not calculated on the AMD GPU. Geekbench is a compute calculating test, so the numbers we're looking at are not based on the GPU performance. Second thing is that the numbers we see here were tested on a Cortex X2, which is only 2.59 GHz, whereas the official version is expected to run at over 3 GHz on the AMD GPU. Once these tests are performed again, they should be easily able to surpass 4,000 points. Now, having said all of this, we previously saw how AMD stacked up against the A14 and A15 Bionic chips, but we didn't have any data from Qualcomm. Well, now we do, and the test results are in one way or the other telling us that although the AMD and A15 scores look much better, Qualcomm will be the processor most people may want to opt for. On Manhattan 3.1, the A15 Bionic was able to pull 198 frames per second. Compared to that, AMD also pulled out an impressive 181 FPS. And having said that, the all-new Snapdragon 898 was also benchmarked, and it managed to score 158 FPS on Manhattan 3.1. Based off of those scores, you guys must be thinking that I'm crazy by saying that Qualcomm is the better processor, but there is one very big factor with all of these scores which is being overlooked, and that is the throttling performance of the chip. As I had mentioned in the previous video, the problem with both Apple and AMD's chipsets were that they seemed to only focus on the peak performance rather than focus on the long-term and sustained performance of the chip. Both Apple and AMD faced this issue, whereas Qualcomm did not. Both the AMD and A15 Bionic chips started to throttle just after a little bit of gameplay, whereas the Qualcomm chip took much longer before it started to throttle, in turn making it more desirable. And by no means am I saying that the Exynos 2200 is a bad chip, considering it is being paired with AMD makes it even more desirable, but if you want to think long run, then the Snapdragon 898 may be the better option. As for more news on the S22, well, we only have a couple of updates on the camera system that we can expect on the Ultra variant. I don't know if I'm disappointed to say, but the Galaxy S22 Ultra will feature an almost similar camera setup to this year's flagship model, but with some significant updates. While earlier reports have suggested that the phone will likely feature Samsung's new 200 megapixel camera sensor, new developments are telling us that this is not true at all, and that the Ultra will retain using a 108 megapixel sensor as its main camera. There's also a mention of an improved image stabilization technology featured together with the sensor, which could be related to another rumor that we reported back in April. According to various sources, Samsung has allegedly partnered up with the Japanese camera manufacturer Olympus to develop a new sensor shift stabilization technology, but it remains to be seen if this would be the same system that will be featured on the Galaxy S22. Anyways guys, that is it for the S22. This was your daily dose of tech. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please drop a like and consider subscribing for more updates. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.